Hello, 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 hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, so the dreams it was and the downloads and recall. I don't really constitute these as downloads, so to speak. More so like recall situations because of who or what it was centered around. First off, in the dream, vision, premonition, however you want to put it, I had it was actually one. It was from a really, really, really long time ago. Don't get me to pinpoint the exact time frame, but it was with I had the dream of this before I performed a piece in a particular fashion. It's in the chicken, right? That was the name of the piece, right? Uh, where I'll just give you like the first stanza. Now, because somebody is trying to control what piece it is I do right now, they want me to do shut the fuck up, please, but that's not the piece it is that this particular dream is pertaining to. Is as we fill the jails with our men like merchants viewing the destruction pouring into the Colosseum. I ask myself, Lord, why can't they see them? Politicians claim they are trying to redeem them. We have other ethnicities trying to be them. Yet they don't understand the environment that makes the black man want to repent of the sins brought from the past, knowing that today could be his last. Okay, that's all I'm going to do from that. Now, the one somebody wants me to do is from Shut the Fuck Up, Please, right? Um, and I'll do a slight snippet. Yeah, if you always talking shit, how can I tell when you're being real? Sometimes allowing the shit to come out of your mouth holds words that can kill, which is highly offensive when I'm trying to heal. Stop complaining about my insanity. I told you to leave the room. You thought it was padded for vanity. I am a performer and a poetess. So I'm only doing that part. And sure, if somebody biting my shit and y'all ain't sticking up for me, that's another reason why y'all getting y'all asses whooped. How about that? Because I had already known that Annika, not Onika, Annika had tried to recreate my 3 weeks and counting, but she replaced hers with like do say and all this other stuff. It's one of those, girl, don't do that to people. You biting and you don't even like me, and you was disrespectful as fuck to me. So in any event, but back to what I was saying with the peace, right? It's in the chicken, right? The as we fill the jails with our men like merchants viewing the destruction pouring into the Colosseum. That particular piece, right? When I had performed it, right, I had to get in the essence and the energy of the persons, right? Yeah, because this was a performance where Oops had been, yeah, it was before he had left office, so to speak, um, officially as a state rep. And yeah, it was a lot of stuff that was going on with that. Um, but before I did that piece, I sang I know I've been changed a little bit, and I did have to ask the crowd. I was like, you got to excuse me. I had to drink a little bit to loosen my throat, right? Uh, so I did that particular piece. Now, before I did that piece, it was a signing of a person, signing of one's name, right? Yeah, because here's the deal that I noticed that came into place with some of the fuck cray, right? That will come into place is if a person keeps all of their old sign-in sheets, right? Yeah, and I didn't have a need to keep my old sign-in sheets. A lot of people didn't show up for me. The fuck? That's that part, and y'all ensured that I lost y'all that I lost the house. It was that all of that had been incurred in. So yeah, some of it is given like the whole journalism aspect of hard copy, right? That was something that would have yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna play into this, but that's gonna play into it for somewhere somehow. And so in any event, in this particular dream it was that I had, um, it was a person, right, who had they had handed me something, right, and my name was on it, right. Yeah, it was two portions to it though, because it's a mirroring effect that comes into place with it. I had that dream a long time ago, and it's a recurring dream for me, right? her, like when you hit a benchmark. Yeah, it's kind of like when you hit a benchmark. Um, how certain dreams will come back into place and space for you. Um, but ultimately, in this particular dream, they were handing me something, and it had fifth degree on it. When I did the Ode to Generation Next, in case y'all were wondering, yeah, how did you get the name fifth degree? The universe gave me that name. I told y'all that a long time ago. I tranced out. It was my first time allowing myself to really trance out. I would want to say I was like 20, and it was because initially, I was like, I really, Deaf Poetry Jam was one of the goals I had back then. It didn't necessarily get reached now, but it's okay. Uh, yeah, because I had even submitted, my CD to them, but I didn't get picked. It was what it was. Um, I'm not upset about it because people still heard my poetry, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they did because I made sure I shared my poetry too. And with Ode to Generation Next, I'm in that hoodie. I'm in a hoodie, and I got white hair, and my nails are done. And I got my rings and stuff on. I think I got my fangs in, and I had asked Just Rich, right, through lyrical therapy. I had asked him. It was his project, and it was for Poetry Month. And my poem, I share my poem in a lot of different places and spaces. Yeah, so in that regard, it's about the power of tongue and what you can identify. In regards to that, I haven't had the white hair in a minute, which probably means I should get some and break my hair up since I know a different way to do it now. Um, but yeah, I typically have my braids white. That's what suits me better. So in any event, um, I had the white braids, and they were gypsy braids. And if you know what gypsy braids are, it's just a whole bunch of different types of braids that you just put in your hair. Yeah, you just allow yourself to go wild. And some of them were wrapped, some of them weren't. It was my thing. And no, I didn't have a problem with taking it down because it was my hair, and I enjoyed it. Now, what ended up happening when I had initially got those though is when I noticed that one of my locks, had been missing. So there's that portion. Now I know who took it. Olivia did. The way she did it was she asked me for some lotion, and within her asking me for some lotion, she took the lock at the same time. I already know how they do this stuff. In any event, um, what ends up happening from there though, uh, the universe had given me the name Fifth Degree when I tranced out and I wrote that poem. And and ever since then, I've been writing. I haven't written a poem lately, but I have been creating in other ways. So I'm getting my creative portion out. So you've been doing her? Yeah, I've been doing her. It's another talent. Yeah, I mean, you have to know how to do her in order to take care of the whole body because uh, things get stuck to a person's crown, right? And detoxing locks and all that other good stuff. So, her, can you take a picture of you? Sure, I can take a picture. No problem. One of the other things was, as far as like the whole Dark Night of the Soul aspect that happened during the daytime, I had did healing rituals. With the healing rituals, it was that I had done. It was, yeah, it's a nature situation. I heard, whoa, geomancy too. I know, yeah, I studied all of them, as an outlet, so to speak. That's the reason why I don't want to necessarily have to do the pharmacology. People already got an attitude with me. Yeah, leave something for somebody else to specialize in, so to speak. I don't want to have to be a specialist in everything, but what I will say is it's definitely herbs and things of that nature that can blend because, in case you guys don't remember, they send pharmacy students, right, at the top pharmaceutical companies, they send them over to Africa to learn from shaman so that they know how to extract and what to extract from the different herbs to create the medicines it is that they make here. Everything, every ailment you have can be found. The cure can be found in nature. In short, stop making it as if they go one against each other when they're supposed to be partnered up. So that part. The other thing, yeah, because that's you stealing from the land, and you raping the land. So it's that part. The other part of it, was no, because I kept seeing Mr. Perry's head face in my head. No, I had an indication of who he of. That's why I smiled when I seen him. It was one of those Perry because I had kept getting. It's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes along just to end it. But the annual problem for our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like, baby. Yeah. So from Phineas and Ferb, Perry the Platypus, right? So I just heard, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. Okay, sure. Um, oh, trust me, I still have that from yesterday. I'm still in it and on it. I've just refocused it. In any event, I heard, I know, I just want you to know I'm sorry. Okay. In any event, what ended up happening? Yeah, the metaphysical, the universe gave me that name, fifth degree. And then what ended up happening was in this dream though, I came, saw my name, and then within me seeing my name, I walked away. Now when I was walking away, yeah, in short, it was just me checking in. And I gave my yeah, it had my full name in it, but it had fifth degree as me in the universe. Yeah, because one of the things that was coming into place was I saw, I don't know if he was a rapper or a singer, and then it was a Chinese group too that out of nowhere just is one of those, that's not you. Why are you using this particular name? And then from there, through telepathic communication at the time, uh, someone asked, well, why didn't you introduce yourself to him? Because I don't have to introduce myself to somebody who's stealing from me. I don't have to introduce myself to you. You took it from me. You knew, yeah, everybody knew I existed well before those bands came along because my name is directly attached to what was going on with their poetry situation. So everybody already knew. That's why I say stop playing them games. Don't play them games with me. And don't act like it's all good in the hood. If I got beef with somebody, it's legitimate. Because even before those videos of me went out, I had already performed at the Delta Conference in Arkansas. And I had been performing in Arkansas for a nice little second and even performed here in St. Louis. Yeah, that's why when people be trying to play games with me, it's one of those, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. In addition to that, one of the other things it was that had been coming up was it from when I first got on in the tarot community, because I belong to a lot of different communities basically. But in the tarot community, I heard you an angel in all of them. Okay, I guess so. I'm not dead though. I'm an earth angel. I'll hit on that in a second, cause I know where some other stuff stemmed from, and I had already talked about it, but I'll refresh it on this. Yeah, I don't need no cards for this part, y'all. But ultimately, what it was that took place was it was Raja. She was a Pisces, and she would be getting lit on hers. Yeah, that's why when it came to like Anunnaki and all that other stuff, I didn't quote unquote specialize in it. I had information about it, but that was something that she really talked about. The other thing was, yeah, I ain't never got a problem with giving credit to the reader. Was that I got that uh, I had a like mind with, regardless of what they was doing. But she was drinking and stuff. Yeah, like on the live. In short, that's what let me know that that it was spell work that was going on. And yeah, how detrimental that could be to within four people. That's the other reason why with me, you more having me intoxicated than doing a reading. That's not smart, because that's more reason for you to get a no. I know that y'all have a tendency or had a tendency to do that with the deities, but the deities don't like that. They like you to keep them healthy, yeah, just like any and everybody else. That's was one of the reasons why, when it came to like getting in the vibration of whatever deity you would be tapping into, it was difficult, because if you would be constituted as quote unquote sober, because the person, the deity would have been intoxicated from whatever offering it was that would have came into place, and they don't like that. I think you should know. So that's that portion. The other part of it is what happened. Um, Spiritual Sage, she was another one that I noticed that was going on. Yeah, with the whole love and lust spells and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what preempted me to really start looking out for the readers. And I also knew that Mary Jo Nelson, she was on the fuck Ray side of things. And it was like, nah, y'all saying that this is solely about the twin flame journey. Well, in the twin flame journey, there is choice. And with the whole aspect of magically meant to be, that means it's spell work that's being done on those particular readers and stuff. Yeah, that's why I mean personally, even when I just do a reading, right? I just do the reading, get the messages out, and then from there, those of us who have that discernment get a clear understanding of what it is that will be going on behind the scenes. Because with the readings, one of the reasons why I know they didn't really want me to, be seen for real, because I could see what was happening beyond the actual reading. Like the reading will be going on, but I could see who the person is that will be proverbially in the deviant way of doing things, pulling the puppet strings on that person to get whatever message out, right? Yeah, that's why I be encouraging, the community of intuitives, regardless of what your gift is, because it's an umbrella uh, of intuition that comes into place. Um, I had encouraged them to cleanse their essence as much as they can, and make sure they stand true to who they are, regardless of what the reading will have come out, right? And in that regard, yeah, to give us more control of what we speak into existence. Because if they target, or not if, when they target us, they know for a fact that we can feel and see and hear all of that other stuff. um, but those two people, and then I saw Phoenix Marvelous. She was a sweetheart. Yeah, I got to see her, and that made me really grateful to see her, because she's younger, intuitive, and she also wants to do modeling. One of the other things that was coming to me is being a working shaman, so to speak. Um, you'll be amazed how many people actually are, because if you're in like the medical professional, hey Mercury retro, hey Mercury's micro braids, but when it comes to her, do you want to take a picture? I don't know. I'm kind of, I guess, I don't know. Um, can I finish this? In any event, or have I taken pictures? Yeah, I've taken pictures with people. I took a few different pictures with people when I had Fahrenheit, and they came to see me, and I had a black dress on. It was like a black lingerie type deal, is where I got it from Exotic Kiss with Amber, right? I want to say that was her name. Yeah, and she kind of dipped out on me and went in favor of Keisha, which was something that happened a whole lot. In any event, no, I wasn't too. It didn't bother me very much, because it's one of those. When it was all said and done, everybody around me was getting shit, but I was always put under her. Say whatever you have to. Yeah, I was already thrown under the bus by that time. So there is that part. Yeah, because I had went. It was supposed to be with me doing brand management and stuff like, or not brand management, but being a brand ambassador uh, for Thick Chicks Boutique, right? Uh, that was, again, it was a partnership. She wasn't my boss, so her telling me to go somewhere, unless she had a dress for me to put on, she can't tell me to do shit. She wasn't paying me. I was giving her the money and posting, and yeah, and sure, we're not doing that. I just heard, damn, yeah. It was a whole bunch of people who was on some weird shit. No, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't give me acknowledge me or anything, and I didn't get no real discounts on it. And the reality is, if I'm bringing business into you, to where your store completely sells out, you need to give me some free shit. That's one of the good partnerships it was that came into place with nah, Amber was Exotic Kids. This is somebody else. She was an Aquarius, and she had given me the lingerie. Yeah, the whole she like I purchased the lingerie just because, but she ended up giving me all of the other stuff, which was equal value to modeling stuff. So if you've ever seen those pictures of me in the blue lingerie get up, or all the other stuff for free. Yeah, all the other stuff for free. I don't have it no more though. I'm very upset about that, but I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, um, so is that I cannot remember that young woman's name, but she was very supportive of me. She did want to partner with me, but the part that she wanted me to play in partnering with her was that I would basically be, security guard dog, help her make decisions. It's one of those, yeah, I can't help you with your stuff, and my stuff ain't completely put together just yet, right? Yeah, I've always been very choosy about who I pick to partner with. So in any event, yeah, she wasn't bad, but she wanted to give me too much responsibility and too much stake in her business, and I ain't like that. Um, so in any event, uh, back to what I was saying. Yeah, because it's gonna be reflective of down a rabbit hole. It'll be reflective of down a rabbit hole. Uh, Situations that'll come into place, and uh, ultimately, right? Yeah. In short, no one. I was walking along the path, and then me and my daughter, and then this, yeah, because the stick genuinely was not there, and then the stick showed up, and I tripped, and I hit my knee a little bit, but it was one of those, oh, this is from when I did that last or a healing ritual about 4 or 5 years ago. The same thing happened then, but it was because I had to crack the eggs on a tree. I heard no, yeah, yeah, sure. I said what I said. I did the healing rituals. Quit playing with me. So it's that part. The other part of it was I said thank you. You're welcome. No problem. I told you I can't say it unless it happened, unless it's true, unless it's real, unless I really did it. So it's that part. The other part of it, are even proportionate. Yeah, Portia, Dallas, Cynthia, Olivia, Lewis. I did it for everybody. Why wouldn't I do it for them? Them definitely the first people it was I knew to do it for. It was like, you bitches need to heal. Yeah, you made me. Nah, y'all, you gonna be on the first round. It's not about just the friend aspect in that regard. It's realistically, like I said, that was my purpose. That was my job. I had to sit with all of the deities. In short, every time somebody sent somebody my way on the energetic level, the spiritual level, whatever deity that came to me, the first ones, it was were of lower entities, so to speak. But with them me sitting in their essence and sitting, they allow for me to, they let their guard down enough to let me see exactly what it is that was plaguing them. And within that going on, within that going on, I did what was necessary for them, and then they started sending they others to me. It was one of those, oh, okay, sure. If I can get what's necessary for it, I'll make it happen. So in any event, from there, right? Uh, yeah, I said what I said. It's not my house, so I can't do all of that. I learned my lesson behind it next time. Y'all want me to do that, y'all better make sure I have a house to live in. Not just not just a small space. No, I need an actual house that I could dedicate my sanctum to. And considering the fact that I've already owned a home before, that's why I admire Master P, because I took 10 grand and I flipped it. Got a house and a car and had everything decent and in order. Now, the problem that came into place with it was dealing with others, right? Other people who, was taking advantage of me, like Twisted Poet, right? Yeah, that's a different Gregory. But like Twisted Poet and them, and they already knew why it is I didn't fool with them. It ain't no secret behind it. It was bad business. And when I did ask Rondell Irvin, Poet Irvin, 16 Boys, when I did ask him for help, he did the one thing, but I was trying to contract him to finish my house, and I wouldn't have had no problem with it because he actually did the work right, and he wasn't in my face a whole lot. He just did the work and kept it pushing. And with him not helping, it was one of those due to loyalty is ultimately what I got from it. It was one of those, okay, well, fine then. Let me go ahead and not deal with these people. I'm just going to have to find all my own people. I can't really depend on this particular network because they don't fuck with me like that, because they felt some type of way because Kaiser was being on some weird shit. He didn't understand boundaries, and he didn't understand boundaries intentionally, and that was the thing that was kind of annoying to me, because it was like, how the fuck you gonna try and get the scoop on Kaiser, but you trying to support Kaiser women, but then you turn around and you find out that I really had an affinity for Corey, and now all of a sudden you want to be y'all switch up too much. I ain't like that. And then even in addition to that, knowing all the fuck shit that he was on, it's like, nah, y'all doing too much. So in any event, what ends up happening, that's something else. Another situation, because in my head right now, I'm like Tom Cruise on Minority Report. And as the information is coming to me, I'm swiping it out. Okay, Alicia. The song Alicia. That's cute. Because I will shift and delete your ass. Control, Alt, delete. That's how my brain works. I gotta make space for incoming information. But ultimately, what ended up happening, even in that regard, was I ended up, I gotta make sure I pour something in that bucket because that's ridiculous. Still water or stale water. That'll be talking about the different types of emotions. It is stagnant emotions that people just don't want to let go of because they feel like it's a driving force. But I encourage people to let go of everything. In regards to how it is that they would feel damn about somebody liking you. Don't nobody gotta like you. They gotta respect you though. They do. I get that some people don't agree with that, but you do have to respect people because that's what you want. And when you don't respect others, that shit come back on your ass like horribly, tenfold, I guess. But nah. So in regards to that though, again, what I'm talking about, shifting, translated so that you get an understanding of what it was that, or how this would apply to you, right? The signs that I've named so far would be Aquarius, Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio, Cancer, And the whole situation with Houston, I'm hoping that out of Nola the Oracle, I'm hoping that she's okay. I'm really hoping that she's okay. I haven't seen her, and I haven't really been on Patreon. I gotta, yeah, that's the other reason. It's one of those. Even though my brain works like a computer, is still a matter of actually having the actual equipment necessary to activate what would or put in place what would need to be put in place, and it is what it is. So in any event, with yeah, I know she's down in Texas. Where exactly, I'm not sure. Or last I heard, she was down in Texas. But outside of that, though, it was a lot of confrontations and things of that nature that have been going on. Because it was they were attempting to utilize the Twin Flame Journey as another programming of oppression, and they were utilizing the romanticism and commercialism of love and romance in order to do a whole bunch of like really messed up stuff to people. Yeah, because you'll be amazed how they were utilizing that particular type of information to hunt and track down kids and everything. And I did send a text message to that number a really long time ago. It's one of those, nah, we got to protect the kids. They going after the kids. They going after the kids. And it wasn't really listened to me. It was like they were trying to implement the exact same type of program. It's like, nah, that program ain't going to fix it. Is you got to review Willie Lynch and all this other stuff and implement that and take into account these portions of it. So it was that portion that it was that mode of thinking of tyranny that made things worse. And in addition to that, whenever I came around those individuals with an open heart, they met me with war and anger and anguish and played like they didn't know of my spiritual gifts. So that's why, all right, that's why you don't give a fuck no more about what happened to them. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was very supportive of them, and I had built what I thought would be a good relationship with them. And for them to be on that bullshit with me, it was one of those, no sir, no ma'am, we're not doing that. Not ever again. I'm done with it. So it's that part. But in any event, nah, cause it was a dude today. He had on a purple shirt, and he said, yeah, he had said that part today. It's one of those. Okay, yeah, cause that is my shit. That's always been my shit. I started that a long time ago. Yeah, even with the turnaround, walking out, dropping the mic, and saying that part. Right? Yeah, I've done that in real life too. And I replaced the microphone. It is that I dropped several times over. I always replace the microphone if it breaks. So don't play those games with me either, lying asses. Um, so it's that part. Then the other thing, let me see. Dallas. That's it. The chick Dallas, right? Yeah, because if this is stuff that is clearing out, the chick Dallas, she was married, and the way that she was presenting herself with, yeah, it was one of those, because it was supposed to be like some sort of attempt at reality TV, which wasn't a good attempt at reality TV. At one point, there had been auditions for a girlfriend situation. I'm hearing it so loud. Fuck. Yes, I told you I remember everything. Everything. Supposed to be an audition, so to speak, for to be a girlfriend, and Dallas was married. So she had no right to be even auditioning for that. None whatsoever. Especially considering the low level it was on. And she was supposed to be, what was her name? Indigo? Sister Indigo. That was supposed to be her name. Yeah, and I felt some type of way because the way she was trying to interpret the energy and facilitate information to people, it was very, yeah, it's one of those that's very misleading. You don't really know what you're talking about. So yeah, it was like I did make that post. It's like, oh my goodness, people picking up just one damn zodiac book. Now all of a sudden they think they know everything. No, we're not gonna do that. No, because in her essence, you could see that she had only read like one or two books on it. And sure, she didn't correlate the information correctly. And then no, because a lot of this stuff is reflective of how it is I assisted with the involvement, the evolve, EVOLVEMENT, of the Palomino situation. And sure, how I had deep roots and connections with everybody, but everybody played me in that situation. They made me the odd man out. They made me the villain, and I said, "Okay, I'll be the villain." Then. You wanna see a bad guy? Yeah, because I didn't show up for Lethal. I wasn't supposed to show up for Lethal. She had been talking shit about me. Y'all think I didn't know that? And on top of that, at the time, yeah, this is where at that time, I considered the brotherhood and sisterhood with Willie C, because I knew his mom had passed away. And then very shortly or around that time, I had checked on him later on down the line. It was later on down the line when Sister Taraji had passed, because they had a really close connection. And I just wanted to check on him to make, yeah, because he's a Cancer male. And y'all know how water signs get. They process emotions, but they don't process them yet in the higher functions and higher facets. So in any event, yeah, that's the reason why when it came to some stuff, I'm like, you know, you don't like me like that. Shut up. Stop fucking lying. You know you under a damn little spell. You know, yeah, you'll do better with associate me as a friend than somebody you want to stick your dick in, because I know what you done with it. Ew. Ew. I know I know where you've gone. No, I'm not saying they're bad people. It's just they're not people that I want to deal with. Ew. No. No, thank you. And on top of that, they didn't support me the way I asked them to. I asked all of them to buy my book. You want to? Yes, I gave variant aspects, variant ways to prevent all of the bullshit from happening. I told them to buy my book. Nobody bought my book, but they wanted me to make sure I showed up to their motherfucking shows so people could come and pay for them. Get the fuck out of here. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Stop fucking lying. Stop playing with me. Get your head up out your ass. Anyway, as a matter of fact, if you have to look, if that's the only way that you can look inward, put your head farther up your ass. What the fuck? Get the fuck on somewhere. So in any event, no, because there was a few other readers. I can't think of what her name was, but she was a Pisces too. Yeah, and she was the one who used to always say something about the baby mama and all this other stuff. And it was one of those, yeah, in some instances, it's one of those, yeah, ain't nobody got a baby mama or not. You know, I don't really care. I've not ever really cared about that. Yeah, because one of the other readings, and it was correlated with a few different readings. Yeah, about somebody getting karma for the baby mom for taking the man from the divine feminine, because they and all this other shit basically was, yeah, and because of stealing a baby daddy and all this other shit. I was like, damn, would that have happened with me? Huh, that's interesting. No, because one of those, damn, they get karma for that. I mean, he was karmic and she was karmic, so technically that I figured that would be a match. Oh, what? Yeah, happy surprises. Yeah, it was one of those. Oh, that's a happy surprise. I just heard real loud Libra. Is that situation with Constance? Yeah, even in that regard, it was one of those. Okay, it is what it is. I ain't trip off of it. Yeah, I don't, because I had, what a lot of people don't understand is I did a prayer when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, and I had asked for strength to go through, yeah, to make it through everything it was that I went through, so that I can have my husband. And then the way that the prayer was facilitated to me was, you know, I'm gonna go through all of my exes. I heard, no, you're not supposed to remember that. Oh, bless y'all little heart. The files, they popping up. In any event, I had to set a prayer. And within me doing that, I had prayed that I'd be able to make it through all of the different trials and tribulations it was that I had. And what was told to me was that I would go through all of my exes, right? And it was only 5 of them that were listed. Okay? It was only 5 of them. It wasn't a whole slew of all these other people and shit. But what the way that it broke off was, yeah, because I didn't know that my exes were. I had an idea that they were energetically inclined and like to manifest and stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to procreate with them. But in any event, that I would go through all of them, and at the end would be my husband. Now, here's the deal that came into place with it. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the husband aspect yet. And then I refined it. It's one of those, you know what? I don't want to have to go through. Yeah, but it was after I had already completed everything it was that I was told I would go through. Then it was one of those, okay, I don't want to have to hurt like that no more, ever again. I learned every lesson from every variation of those men, period. And so there was that part. Um, Outside of it though, uh, I'm trying to think. Ultimately, outside of that though, oh, that's what I was gonna talk about. Yesterday, I was grateful. I will say one of the things it was that I was grateful that I didn't see a lot of, and it happened again today, and that made me grateful too. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of the same fuck right that had been happening beforehand. So I'm really grateful because of that, because that would get a lot of people in trouble. Like that's putting people in a position to incur karma that's not really theirs to incur. Like true enough, yeah, it's the whole buffering situation, but even within a buffering, that's, I don't know, Marty. Yeah, nah, because even in that, because I don't know if he cool with me or not. I don't know if any of these people are cool with me now. Let me be honest with you, because if they was really cool with me, they would have told his ass no after they first seen how he was acting towards me, and how they, if they would have seen how others was acting towards me, they would have stood up in their own power and shit then. So whether they cool with me or not is irrelevant. They still got their path and their purpose. And if they're trying to determine if I'm cool with them or not, that means they want something from me. But you haven't given me anything to want something from me. See, I'm not gonna keep showing up to fight battles and shit for y'all, and I'm not getting anything out of it. What's wrong with you? That's rude. You're fucking weird. And he would typically send Marty around. Yeah, because Marty, he's a Virgo and Marty is a Gemini. And he, in short, he has fundamental knowledge. When people have fundamental knowledge of how their planet would work, I said all of this a long time ago. It was the same situation, because if he couldn't have, here's the deal that came into place with music at the intersection, since y'all want to break it down like that. When it came to music at the intersection, if you knew, if within them knowing that Marty could come around me with no problem, Marty should have been the one to slide me a pass. But y'all didn't do that. See, I wanted to play games and make me go all out of my damn way while you bitches was having it easy. No sir, no ma'am. When I say I don't have a need for any of that. That wasn't my circle. That wasn't my circle. That wasn't my unit. So I just leave well enough alone in that regard. But outside of that though, yeah, everybody know how old I am. Everybody knew how old I was. Stop. Just stop. Everybody also knew that they were villainizing me, all because I wasn't cool with Lethal, because she was on a bunch of bullshit. And so was CC and yeah, Concetta. So it was Concetta and all of them. Everybody already knew what that was. Um, Nah, cause I'm hearing some other names. Yeah, Jalen, Javion. Oh no, her name was Kaylee, and Rabbit was a nickname that she went by. So there's it. Um, but ultimately, yeah, when they knew, in short, when that poem "She Different" was initiated, that's where all of my hatred stemmed from. And that was the first time he actually wrote a poem that made sense the whole damn way through. Every other time after that, it was like being blamed for some dumb shit that he would have did. So it's one of those. Yeah, and that's what ended up ultimately happening a lot on the poetry circuit here in St. Louis. They would write off of inspiration from me, but then they'll turn around and be disrespectful as fuck towards me. Yeah, in the social media aspect, they'll play like they in agreement, or but in real life, yeah, these motherfuckers was nothing like, they were out of alignment completely. So it's one of those, we're not doing that. Um, I just heard something about being too powerful. You know what? Whatever. Say the drama for your mama. Okay? Ain't nobody got time for that. So, in any event, um, what ends up happening? Or what else was it? No, because the reality of it was that had been my a name for me from the time I was a little girl, and that was the other thing that came into place. Yeah, with the life pass situation. Yeah, because people thinking that when I would put life pass 5, yeah, they wouldn't be doing it based out of what they needed to see going on with them. They'll be looking at it as, okay, this is what fifth is going to do next. Because, yeah, some of them call me 5. It's one of those, man, get the fuck on some damn wire. I ain't got time for that. You just being disrespectful for no reason at this point. You just using, yeah, just to try to make a buck, and you not even going to give me no money off of it. Get the fuck on some damn wire when I made sure that y'all ate. But you want me and my kid, you wanted me and my kids to starve? No, thank you. We're not doing that. Yeah. Oh, I've been traveling down this road too long, trying to find my way back home. The old me is dead and gone, dead and gone. I've been singing it for, yeah, I've been singing, posting it for a while. Everybody thought I was playing. So there's that part. Outside of that though, it was, oh, they got the puppies. They got the puppies. They got the puppies. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, because aminos, that, and that's the other thing. It was one of those with Stray and Rescue, right? They did help me a lot with dealing with certain situations. Because my thing was, okay, the humans don't want to love me. Cool, no problem. It's some animals here that I know will absolutely adore my ass. So I don't have to have, yeah, I don't have to have human friends. I can get an aminal friend and learn how to not be Elvira or Elmira, not Elvira, Elmira, right? And not have to be Elmira. If you watch Tiny Toons, not Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons, you'll get the reference. All right. Now with Yakko Wacko and Dot, that typically shows up as like Kendrick Lamar. I fuck with him heavy though. Yeah, I truly enjoy his music. Um, Nigga, fuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big meat. No, okay. So, in any event though, yeah, I'm channeling a whole bunch of stuff right now. And with that mean channeling on a regular basis, yeah, it don't, I'm one of those channels that it don't shut off, but I've learned how to process whatever it is that was coming through to me to deliver messages and things of that nature a whole lot better. So it's that part. The I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it for right now. No, I haven't watched none of Missy's readings, because her readings typically showed up or came into place. I just heard, oh no, don't look at it like that. Don't take it like that. It's not because I don't want to. And it's not even because I'm not prepared to. It's because I need to see how things anchor outside of me focusing on love and romance. That was a trigger or quote unquote kill switch that was installed in me through spell work of some sort. I'm not sure. And it's what turned the whole inability, realistically, for me to be affected by love spells, because I have a deeper understanding of what love is. And whenever I would watch one of Missy's readings, yeah, it'll turn out that it'll be something that would be going on at Friendship Village. And it would be, yeah, like it was this one night where I was working the night shift at Friendship Village. And it was I had watched the reading on my way there. When I got there, it was a Coca-Cola can that was set out for me. Yeah, no, somebody told me that it had been set out for me. And it's one of those, okay, so why am I getting this quote unquote nudge? Yeah, it wasn't really a quote unquote nudge, because why are you sitting a Coca Cola can out for me when you know I really don't drink Coca Cola like that? I'm more of a Dr. Pepper girl, actually, and I'll substitute with Pepsi because that's what my mom liked. But actually, dealing with Coca Cola, that really wasn't my thing. And I had already known that it linked to a couple people. Not only did it link to him with the whole coconut oil shit, and I helped with that. I'm not going there. Mm, mm, Hurt. Oh, you so much. I'm not going there. But to get off of him, it was a model coordinator. I cannot remember what her name was, but she empowered me a whole lot. She did, and she did for me in modeling what Burgess did for me in nursing. Like, regardless of all the fuckery that was going on, she empowered me and she let me know, yeah, that I could do the walk and that I didn't need as much uh guidance on it, so to speak. And when I was walking the runway, yeah, she told me that I had did a good job basically when I got to the end, and I was supposed to have headshots. Now, in addition to that, yeah, John Henry, right, or Jean Amérique, whoever the fuck he gonna be today, he, well, that's not my problem. In any event, uh, he had told me he would blacklist me, right? That he would put me on a blacklist for modeling and all this other stuff. This is after he had been on, I want to say it was Fox 2, and me passing his information and shit along to my god sister Kim Hudson. Yeah, so that betrayal and that stabbing in the back, but I did get the answer to the question as to why she wasn't there. I want to say her last name was Davis, but that had gave me understanding as to why she didn't come back that next year, because he had played with a lot of people, and that whole Leo roaring, ain't nobody finna take all that. Like, no. And on top of that, he was disrespectful as fuck to me, because anybody who ever tells me, "Oh, I'm gonna call you by the name, I'm gonna call you by the name that's on this," or "I'm gonna call you by," it's one of those. Okay, and since you're calling me that, please understand that within you calling me that, I'm never gonna talk. As soon as I can finish whatever contract it is I got with you, I ain't fucking with you no more. How about that? Ever again in life, and you gonna miss me. Yeah, that's why I can kind of relate to Lil Baby verse on it. On Alicia. No, not about the being we stuck. Is one of those. You ain't gonna ever get no closure from me. Ain't none of these other niggas colder than me. I really, you know what? I'm working on my masculine side, y'all. I promise y'all I am. Yeah, because in that regard, I am a brat. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I do act like that. I saw my mirror and I was like, ooh. Yeah, but it gets things done. I don't necessarily care for it for me being like that, because that shifts my whole perspective on how I treat every situation, and I don't like necessarily having to do that with different situations. But for the most part, I just heard we love you though. Oh, I love y'all too. I promise y'all I do. Can't deal with a lot of y'all. Yeah, because ultimately what it is, what has a tendency to happen with me is once I know how to fill myself up and empty myself out on a continuum. I'm used to doing that. That's part of that alchemical aspect of things. Um, Part of it anyway. Um, but yeah, ultimately though, right? Um, I hope they help y'all out. I'm gonna go ahead and close and seal this reading. Um, yeah, hopefully it helps you guys out with understanding some different situations it is that you will be having go on in your own personal lives. Um, so that y'all can get understanding of the different modalities that are associated with interpersonal and intrapersonal communication, and what actual relationship building is and what it looks like. So yeah, all right. We're going to close and seal this reading. Light and love to you all, right? Light and love to you. Hopefully, whatever you didn't get from this reading, you received from the musical reading it was that I just did, all right? Yeah, I have a lot of different ways it is that I do readings. Those people who have higher knowing, they understand it. Right, all right. Light and love to y'all, okay? Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. That's why you have to stay light while you work.